Okay, final run. Maybe 10.4 again, 3.2 to 100. Okay, I think I mixed up sound on and off. I think with the exhaust pressed, it sounds less, and with the LED light pressed, it sounds less, which feels a bit funny. So we have MDM, but I'm gonna show you. Let's press it, and we'll see if we hear a characteristic sound. And I've folded the rear seat as well. No sound. And LED button not illuminated. Completely different sound, like a drag racer. So from outside it must sound so different. And I mean, when you floor it, this consumes petrol. But it goes like not anything I've seen. I wonder if there is a performance difference, flaps open or not. I doubt it. Automatic. So brutal, this car. And I think ceramic brakes is a must with this power. I mean, hear something from outside. And with the LED lights on, oh. completely different sound. It sounds a lot less. So the tip is maybe drive with this on, the LED light on for the exhaust actually. You will upset a lot of less people. That was actually funny enough. With the silent sound, you got the bangs anyhow. And then you can just be completely comfort and put on speed limiter. I think I've never seen a car drink as much petrol as this car when you floor it. But if you're not flooring it, then you could do 0.9 liter, 0.8, which is really something. But when you floor it, you're really screwed in terms of consumption. But I mean, that's the name of the game. Just a super overpowered monster. It's like two 540 engines in one, kind of. And like this is like the beauty of the M5, super monster. And then with a touch of a button you now also have fully autonomous driving, which is just lovely. I don't even have to have the hands on the steering wheel. Lovely. So is this really the same car? The only little complaint is that, I mean, somewhat harsh suspension for being a family car. But I mean, who cares? I mean, just completely resting. So relaxing that you forget that you're driving a car. It's like you forget holding the steering wheel. But all in all, very nice to have autonomous driving in combination to this. It's really a license saver. Of course, like the true petrol head, air conditioning is off to get all the power. Save some precious fuel for those all-out accelerations. I mean, autonomous driving works best, I would say, on highways. It's like when you've been driving a long time and just want to take it easy on country roads, it's somewhat more dicey because of the lane painting is not as good as on the highways, etc. Still relaxing after having that crazy sound. My apologies. Hard work driving M5 every day. Yeah, the fun thing, I mean, now the M5 is like an all year rounder. It's fun all the time, all year round. It's 4-wheel drive. So, and that's been the only drawback. It's not a winter car. Now it is a winter car. Seventh gear in 50 kilometers per hour. I mean, automatics are getting good. Only thing, this warning, when it warns you to put hands on the steering wheel, is that sounds like a SMS from your old Nokia cell phones. Anyway. I wouldn't say no to autonomous driving. I liked it as well on the E63. It's a real license plate or license saver. So it feels like the M5 Competition is like a true rocket. It's a king. It's a true speed king between stock forms of E63S and RS6. And also, I don't think the new RS6 will be this fast. I mean, close to 10, 0 to 200. Carrera GT level 9.9. 0 to 200 is Carrera GT, I believe. So, newly washed Snapper Rocks Blue with another camera and with some light on, or sun actually. It just looks good with the half beam on. I prefer that instead of the daytime running lights. This is not as stabilized as my other camera, but still it gives some sense of the color with some sun on. It's not your usual color choice, but I think the more you look at it, the more you like it. I would not choose dark windows. I would choose what to say, curtains instead, so I can put them up when I want. So let's try. This was a bit too close. Anyway, I'll just see the roof, you kind of forget that the M5 has a carbon roof now. I mean, that helps a lot, of course, in terms of weight and weight saving on the absolute best spot. So whatever you do, you cannot have a sunroof, or you should not spec it with a sunroof. It ruins everything for it. Now I just want like even more carbon parts on it, like carbon panels. I mean, all the black parts should be in carbon. We must see the engine carbon parts, of course. Let's have a look. This is beautiful. However, the classic Vanos sound, the E28 did not have that. But anyway, it's one bad thing. And I would probably try to take away this padding. So gorgeous. It's gonna be, yeah, let's see how gorgeous this is with, I haven't thought about that, the sportiness, the sport, you see the aggressive line of the carbon roof. I mean, what other sedan has that? Work of art. Anyway, that's about it for the sun. So, what a day. 110 kilometers per hour is 107 GPS. My average of today's adventures has been this. Not that bad considering we've done like 15-20 launch controls. And I mean, yes, it's thirsty when you give gas, of course, but you can, when you just put in 110 kilometers per hour, do actually 0.9 liter average consumption. I actually killed the air conditioning right now. Okay, not that good place to stop. Anyway, average is 17.2 per 10 kilometers, but for this little trip today, which been including numerous launch controls, Yeah, I can see driving 2063 kilometers. Started driving 7:30. It kind of makes sense. I do, however, want to reset this. And I believe it's, at 110 kilometers per hour we could be stuck at 0.9 liters per 10 kilometers. And I have fully autonomous driving now, which is, as I said on the Mercedes, it's a license saver. So let's see if he brakes here. That little car, yes, it does. And I think it's enough to have the feet on like this. Now it's 0.75, a bit too suspicious low, I would say. I would say just cruising like this, then the Panamera Turbo S takes the cake because it's recharging the battery pack, etc. But I was only able once to do 3.2 seconds 0 to 100 kilometers per hour on the Panamera Turbo S, but in the M5 I did it all day, every day, at 23 degrees Celsius as well. It was not I did it last night as well, and I think the best time was 10.4 0 to 200 kilometers per hour, which is unheard of, I think, for this large car. See, 0.92 per 10 kilometers. Let's see. So in 3 degrees heat, I managed to do 10.4 0 to 200. The M5 Competition, 3.2 0 to 200 all day. That's just spectacular. If it's a bit cooler, I think it would do. Maybe 10 flat, 0 to 200. What a brutal monster. Some bugs have been killed. Some fans are on. But I think acceleration wise this car is crazy. What's the temperature? (22.5 degrees Celsius). And this is totally correct color for this car. It's a really sporty color. Have a look. Maybe we should let the heat dissipate from the engine. I mean, it's a stock car. How could it do 10.4 0 to 200 in this heat? That's just super impressive. I wonder how, with some little cooler weather, I think it's really be able to do sub 0 10 seconds 0 to 200. It's just crazy. Made in Germany. So after a day of racing with like 25 launch controls, totally autonomous driving is really nice to have. You just put in the speed limit, 110, not the car's electronic limiter at 305 kilometers per hour. And it's nice to see that we have efficient dynamics control display here that informs us that the engine is running. And (110 kilometers per hour), and we have an average of 0.8 kilometers per hour. I mean, that's not bad for this large car. You can just cruise. However, it's a waste of miles. It's fun, more fun to put it in two-wheel drive and DC off, program with this button, and go all out. But I mean, when you've done that a full day, you just want to have a rest, and then this consumption is not bad. It's just important to let the park, the cruise control and autonomous driving do the job by itself. And then, I mean, the total mileage of one tank is not bad. It's almost 700 kilometers, and I can't remember last time an M5 had that large range, actually. And I wonder what average you get if you start driving really actively, but 1.5 liters per 10 kilometers, I assume. See, here you have this little navigation information here, and we can also probably change it to a map, but that's first when we should turn with the car, I assume. Yeah, because now my little rev counter disappeared. Oh, now it came back. I mean, wow, you can really take it easy with this. And my average over all these days is this, so that's a bit higher. But it's very comfortable saving your license and everything, just letting the autonomous driving do its work. German car in front of us. Anyway, that's all for now. So this is pretty cool. The rev counter became a navigational, instructional item, but still works as a rev counter, except that the 7,000 RPM is somewhat covered. And now everything got covered. That's pretty brutal. I like the red bar there with it goes down. And for the record, I turned off the heads-up display. I think that's distracting. Maybe I have it on too strong, maybe that's why. And this autonomous driving on M5, as I said when I drove the E63S for Matic, you really need this autonomous driving on these super highly powerful cars, because it's a license saver. Yeah, it's pretty convenient as well with the queue traffic. Completely autonomous. Now this couldn't be the smartest route to choose, since we got stuck in a queue. Just gonna see how my little consumption is still quite low. I'm kind of impressed by this efficient dynamics. Pretty good average last like 550 kilometers. But I'm gonna take another way, because this way really sucked. Best. Take out as a stats see it on a diagram as well. Looks like I've kind of deleted it, but one thing that's quite nice on the M5 is that the whole rev consumption is pretty alright, below 0.9 liters per 10 kilometers. If you put in a destination, the RPM counter actually disappears, kind of like the Panamera counter. Why did this autonomous driving disappear? Maybe I was blipping too much on the iDrive. So you can see here a little small navigation comes up here. No, there.